Welcome to this new lesson. In this new lesson, we start a new project, which is called Semantic Search. So why this project? Traditional keyword-based search often struggles to provide accurate and contextually related results. Our Semantic Search project addresses this challenge by leveraging the power of OpenAI API embeddings and machine learning. Whether it is optimizing product recommendations or finding relevant research literature, this approach ensures precise and semantically accurate search results. What is semantic search about? Semantic search is about understanding the intent and contextual meaning of words. Our project brings this advanced capability to your fingertips using OpenAI API's machine learning models to convert your search term and a list of target string into embeddings, numerical representations of words that encapsulate their meanings. It then displays the top k most semantically similar targets, which are the closest embedding. Use cases of semantic search. In e-commerce, semantic search can significantly enhance the user experience by providing more relevant product recommendations. In customer support settings, semantic search can quickly identify queries that are related and provide the most relevant solutions. And finally, in academic search, researchers can use semantic search to discover literature that is related to their work. Okay, let's now see the application. So here, this is the application that we are going to build. At the top, you specify a search term. Then you specify target list, one item per line. Here we have 10 items, which include 10 statements. Now, these 10 statements, the first few of them are about raining outside. And second part is about buying something from the. So I want to do a search to see what are the target list items that are closest to the search term that I will specify. In fact, let me say it is raining outside. As you can see, the first 5 target list items are about rain. The second set is about buying from grocery. If semantic search is working properly, it should say that the first 5 are close to my sentence and the second 5 are not. Key values, how many similar items I want to return. In fact, let me search the entire thing to see all the order. Let me submit now. Okay, as you can see here, it found that there are similar items which are 1, 2, 0, 4, and 2. These are 1, 3, 0, 4, and 2. You can find that the similarity is high. It is 0.96. In 1 is the most similar or identical, and 0 is not similar at all. So from 0 to 1, we have 9.96 for the first sentence. The third, the 0, so the index 0, 4, and 2. While if we go down, when it's talking about the supermarket and the groceries, we are just getting 0.8, 0.79, 0.79, 0.78, and so on. So apparently, it was able to figure out the close terms. In fact, let me say I will go shopping. Now here, these items, the second 5 are about shopping. So let's see if it brings them to us. So I will only select the first 5, the top 5. So submit. Okay, you can see that it found the 8th, 6th, 7th, 5th, and 9th, which all of them are about rain. If we make it 10, for example, you can see that it found the ones that are talking about the grocery and the food, and the ones that are talking about the rain are having much less similarity. Okay, let's start creating this project. So first, I will go and create a new folder. So I will call it Semantic Search. So new folder. Semantic Search. Okay, I will open it in Visual Studio Code. Okay, code dot space dot. Okay, so I will trust this folder. I will go to the terminal and I will import or start a new node application npm init. Okay, so I will choose the default. Except for this, I will choose app.js. Okay, so that created the node application for us. Let's install two libraries that we need, which are the OpenAI and the dotenv to store an environment variable. So let me install both of them. Okay, let me come here and create the files that we will need. So we'll need app.js. We also need playground.js for testing. We will also create an environment variable to contain the OpenAI API key. So this is the dotenv. We will create a folder to contain our configuration. I will call it config. I will also create another folder called controllers. So that's the controllers folder. It will contain our controller. Inside the config, I will create the file OpenAI config.js, which will include the OpenAI initialization. So in this, I will create a key, which is called OpenAI underscore key. This is the value of the API key. So where do we get it from? If we go to the OpenAI platform.openai.com, then go to your account, select manage account. Below here, you have all the keys. You will see only the key ones when you create it. So here are the keys, but we cannot view any of them. So we need to create a new one, create secret key, and we need to copy it here because this is the only time that we will be able to see it. So that's for the key. And while we are here in the settings, let me show you, we have the organization ID, which we will use shortly. So this is where we get the OpenAI key and the organization ID. So this is for the environment variable. Now inside OpenAI config, we will initialize and create the OpenAI API object. So let's open this file, initialize or require the OpenAI library. We will require two objects, the configuration object and the OpenAI object. Then we will require and initialize the dotenv library. Then we will create a configuration object. This is the configuration object that we imported here. It takes an object that contains two keys. The first key is the organization, which is the organization ID that I showed you before. This is optional, but it is recommended to include it. And then we have the API key, which is the key that we stored in the dotenv file, and it is available in the process object because we required and initialized the dotenv library. So now we created a configuration object that includes all the information related to our account. Then we create an OpenAI API object. This is the OpenAI API object that we required here. We pass the configuration to it, and that will create the object, and this object is now available to make any OpenAI API call. And because we will require it in our controllers, so we need to export this object. So by this, we have created the OpenAI config object. We are now ready to start making call to OpenAI APIs.